He won a Nobel for the double helix. Now the genetics master spills the secrets of cloning and splicing. Rad! Plus, Sarah discovers the best 3-year-old basketball player to ever slam dunk the internet. And see just how fast and furious I got with the stars of this redhead flick. Live from the TechTV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers.
I'm Leo Laporte.
And I'm Kevin Rose, filling in for the big guy who wears a skirt and carries a sledgehammer.
Who the heck could that be?
That would be Mr. Patrick Norton.
Oh, okay. He's having the day off today.
Yeah, he would kill me if he heard me say that.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
He's not
Obviously,
here.
He's not around anywhere within a television signal. Thanks so much for joining us on the show. The coolest new stuff. We answer your questions. It's always a lot of fun and a great show lined up today. In fact, Jessica, what are you working on for later in the show?
You know, I got so much going on. We got the Fast and the Furious package coming up and a bunch of great web tips and stuff.
All right. And Dan has tipped his hair. It's no longer frosted. Does that mean something new in Interact?
There is some new stuff going on. Actually, what I'm here to tell you is how to get a hold of us. There's 4 ways. There's phone, there's email, chat, fax.
It'd be nice if you had a microphone.
Yeah, you can't hear him.
Also, smoke screens in the sky.
Talking to Jessica's chest. You know you want to. Go ahead. Oh, all right.
What?
He's just going to tell you the way, because you have a microphone that works. He could talk into your microphone. You see, what did you think I was saying? What did you think?
Dan's all excited now.
Dan, his hair's going to turn red again. 888-989-7879 is what he's going to tell us. That's the phone number if you want to get a hold of us. Now, I should say that there's something weird going on with the 888 number, and it doesn't work in all states at this point. Maybe we didn't pay our bill in Delaware. I don't know what the deal is. But so if you can't get through, we're going to fix it. You'll get through either later in the show.
You can email us too, screensavers@techtv.com, and also fax us at 415-437-5869.
Yes, or visit the website
or
and
chat.
Yeah, that's always a lot of fun. Let's see, what else? Sarah Lane, right? You got something coming up?
That's me. Yeah, I'm going to show you a 3-year-old who is a better basketball player than you and I combined.
Is he this tall?
Believe it or not. He's even shorter.
He's a little
guy? He's like half the size of me. Oh, he's really good.
You can't...
Isn't he sponsored by Reebok or something? You said he's that good? Or?
I could take him.
Kevin. That'll be coming up later in the show.
I could take him. I could take him in horse.
Oh, you could
guarantee you. All you got to do is push him over and kick him. Let's begin by taking...
Yeah, I suggest doing that.
Kicking little kids.
No, we won't do that. We won't do that. I do that to my son, but he's tough. It's okay. Is Sarah about to kick me? I'm scared of her.
She's
hardcore. Scared. I know. You know that.
I've been kicked.
Yeah. And you loved it. Let's take a look at the top technology stories today. Big virus news story. They're calling it the Bugbear, but it's a variant of the Bugbear you might have seen, Bugbear B. This time, according to the Semantic Antivirus Research Center, SARC.com, it was discovered this morning at about 6:30 a.m. and is already, in less than 12 hours, became a Type 4, which is the highest alert level.
So now you said this you don't even actually have to open attachment for this one.
Yeah, this is another one taking advantage of a hole that Microsoft has patched, by the way. If you've applied your Windows updates, Bugbear is not going to be a threat to you. But there was a brief moment in time where Microsoft Outlook or Outlook Express, you could actually, by just previewing the email, just clicking on the header and having it open the preview pane, the virus actually would be activated. So on any computer where the updates haven't been applied, you don't have to open the attachment. Bugbear will take off. And then this is the thing. It's very destructive. It collects passwords. It can get into and monitor your TCP/IP stack. The payload is actually fairly serious.
What does it do with the passwords and everything?
It actually sends them back, yeah. It spreads both through network shares and email, infects executables. It's actually got a number of payloads. It's a fairly nasty virus.
Now, people that are Macs or Linux or anything like that, is this going to affect them?
Nope. So Windows only. Not even Windows.
Only Windows.
3.1. It's got to be Windows 95, 98, XP, or ME. And if you go to SARC.com and click on the Bugbear, you'll see all the information. I know I talked to somebody today that says Stanford shut down all of their email service to the outside world in fear that this, and that's the problem. If you have a large installation, you can't be sure that everybody's applied the right updates. And so there's always that fear, and it doesn't take a whole lot. So just be aware, make sure you apply your Windows updates, have your latest antivirus, although because this spread so early and so fast, it wasn't, the antivirus updates didn't take care of it until very, very recently.
So we're telling everybody, turn on your computers right now, go to Windows Update, apply the patches, and also update your antivirus.
Absolutely. And then you can look at your email.
Nice.
Okay?
Another story I got, you know the euro? The euro. Currency in Europe?
Yes.
Well, it turns out it's being counterfeited like crazy.
Really?
Yeah, so they're creating a digital radio chip. Now, it's half the size of a grain of sand, actually.
They put it in the euro?
They can embed it inside the euro note. Hitachi's working on this right now. And they're going to be able to track all of the transactions that the note goes through.
Wow, that's interesting.
So when you go to check out and you put the note across, there's some kind of radio signal that hits it, and then it sends the serial number back to the when you're checking out. And then they would know exactly what's going on.
Now, here's the
stop
question.
Counterfeiters.
How hard would it be to counterfeit the RFID?
Well, they said that the little tiny half grain can only be programmed when they originally manufacture it. So there's no way to flash it or counterfeit it later on. But we know that's only a matter of time. It's going to be cracked. Here's
the drawback to something like that. What if you get kind of lax? You say, well, we have this RFID and our French money and our euros, and I don't have to worry. I don't have to look at it. I just pass it over the scanner. It says it's okay. You could then just give them a piece of paper if you could hack that RFID.
Right.
And they, you know.
Well, they're not going to take a piece of paper.
Okay, you print some, you know, you print the French lady on there.
Right.
Whatever's on a euro. Have you ever seen a euro? I haven't seen it.
I have yet, but
you're going
I'm
to England.
There. Yeah, I'm
going
to
England. England doesn't use a euro, though.
There's 12 countries that do.
France does, Italy does,
France,
Germany.
Ireland, there's a few other
Members
ones.
Members of the EE.
Right.
EC, rather. The EC. European Union, the EE.
Yeah.
I was... No,
I'll check it out when I'm down there, and I'll bring back a euro for us to check out.
European Union. If you thought your teenagers, you know, Patrick and I are going to be speaking to the Secret Service on June 23rd.
I heard about that.
Very strange. The Secret Service said, we want you to come and tell us what techniques people are using to hide data, what kind of things we're going to have to deal with. And I said, you know, you guys are the experts. We just play one on TV. But they said, no, we watch you. We want to learn. Apparently, I thought that was weird. Yeah. Apparently, now the FBI is turning to Karen, Mary, and Kristen for information.
Who are they?
they're 3 Maryland 8th graders and best friends. And the FBI is quizzing them so that they can pose as teenage girls online trying to catch, you know, predators.
Ah, I've done that.
And
no, I mean, long story. Keep going. I'm only going to dig myself deeper here.
You better just stop right there. So the girls, Mary, who's 14, is giggling. She says, they don't know anything. They're like, do you like Michael Jackson? Oh, my God. So apparently they're asking him, you know, is Justin Timberlake, is he still hot? Is he still with it? You know, what clothes do you wear? Even things like, do you capitalize, you know, your sentences when you type?
So the FBI is trying to be cool, basically. They're trying to get in there and speak the lingo. And yeah, and that makes sense, you know, if they're trying to capture...
It's kind of neat. On Tuesday, they graduated from middle school.
Right.
And they got a framed plaque from the FBI, and it was signed by FBI Director Robert Mueller. And he thanked them for developing the lessons that helped them catch pedophiles despite their busy 8th grade schedule.
Oh, nice. Whatever works.
I posed as Justin Timberlake online.
And how'd that work out for you?
Very well.
All right.
Of course, she says she was Britney Spears, but it could be a lie. Today is Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Time for the screensavers. LAN party. You do it, because I know you can do it.
Powered by
Today we're playing, once again, we're playing our favorite mod on Battlefield 1942. This is Desert Combat. And in our LAN party today, Yoshi. You feeling good, Yoshi?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to kick some
He's going to kick some booty. And we've got 2 members of the Alameda, tell me what it is, the Alameda County Community Learning Center. What's your name? Shane and Connor. And then, of course, we've got Angelo, who's responsible. He's our audience coordinator and tip-top intern. And have you ever been in a LAN party? You were in when they had the intern thing. All right. Okay, that's cool. So they're all in there. They're all having fun. You could play against them. And we're doing something a little bit different this time. Where's Josh? Oh, there he is. Oh my goodness, he snuck away from me. We're taking one of the seats and allowing people to watch, right?
Right, actually 2 of the seats.
2 of the seats.
We're testing out this new thing called ClanBank TV.
ClanBank?
ClanBank. And so there are 2 people connect to our server. One takes a video spot and the other one takes audio. And what it does is if you don't have the game, if you didn't get picked to play, you can still watch the game.
Oh, that's cool.
And so they have a camera operator on their end and an announcer announcing the game.
Where's the announcer?
Right,
who's the announcer?
Some guy.
From ClanBank?
ClanBank, yes.
Oh, that's so cool. So he's doing play-by-play.
Play-by-play.
That was rolling target he took out. So he's gotten back in the T-72, and his partner and him are just pretty much just
and it's really easy.
What do you need if you want to
firing blindly right now?
You have to have Winamp 2.9 or greater.
Oh, that's all.
But the full version, not the light
Winamp
that they have for download.
Okay.
And it's very easy.
Is there a special plugin you have to download?
No,
from the Winamp?
it's a shellcast server,
okay.
So it's all built into Winamp. And you have to go to play location.
And then type in this location.
Type in this location. tss.clanbank.com. The port's 9000.
/ semicolon stream.nsv. That semicolon's a little strange.
Yes.
Do we have a link on our website?
Link on the website.
Okay, good. So they can
and then it connects. There it is.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So if you don't have the game, if you didn't get picked, you can still watch.
It means up to, I think, 200 more people can participate in our game.
Yes.
Not as shooters, but as spectators.
Right.
Really cool. Thank you for setting that up, Joshua. That's great.
So, and I do want to say is if you have any problems, email me, joshua@techtv.com. Let me know how this ClanBank worked, if you liked it, if you had any problems.
Great. A whole new way to participate in our LAN party. Let's get our question. You've got one for us, Kevin?
Yes. Jonathan joins us on the phone from New City, New York. Jonathan, what's going on?
Yes, I was curious about if you have data lines and power cables next to each other, like a whole bunch of them, would the power cause interference on the data line?
You bet.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That can definitely interfere.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
I haven't, and I have a whole nest of cables in there, but I've definitely have friends that have had problems wrapping power cables with other data cables.
If you use good quality shielded cables, it's going to be less of a problem. And what kind? Where is this? Is this in your closet, Jonathan, or what's the deal?
It's in my basement with like 3 other computers and like monitors and stuff.
The thing to remember is that the RF interference I'm trying to remember this, reduces with the square of the inverse. So if for every, it reduces, in other words, it goes away very, very quickly as you get farther away. Not linear, but in fact the square of the distance of the inverse. So how far apart are they? If it's right next to each other, that could be a problem. Even if it's a foot, it's probably not a problem. How far apart?
They're like it's like basically laid on top of each other.
They're all bundled together.
You know what I do? What we do here on the set, actually, there's a couple different things we do. We take zip ties and then bundle all of the data cables together and then kind of run them nice and neatly underneath.
Get them away.
Yeah, exactly.
You did that for the senior center, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
That was great.
We use zip ties and also those the plastic tubing that you can buy. They have it at CompUSA.
That's great stuff.
That's great.
And then you can kind of get 2 different channels, and even if they're just 6 inches apart, that's going to be considerably less interference. Are you experiencing problems, Jonathan? Is that why this comes up?
No, I was just curious about it and wondering what should I do if I do experience it.
It's a good idea to separate them if you can. If you're not having problems, I wouldn't worry about it. The kinds of things you're going to get, it might slow down your Ethernet network. You might not be able to work at longer distances because you're adding some interference along the network, that kind of thing.
That's funny. Ethernet happens a lot because when people crimp their own cables, they end up leaving them untwisted, and there's some interference that gets in there, and then you start having problems with your network connectivity.
If you use good cables, and if you separate them, you should be all right, though, John.
Definitely.
Okay. And I think Patrick is going to do, for the digital digs next month, we're going to each of us are going to our house and do a project. Right. And Patrick's project is to fix up the wiring in his garage, which is like yours, Jonathan, all, as you can imagine with Patrick.
Yeah.
Just like all piled and messed. So you might want to watch next month.
Next week, I think.
When is it? Week of the 16th?
16th.
June 16th, so this month. Watch that week, and you'll see Patrick and the solutions he found.
I heard he had just
for that problem.
It was
huge,
what a mess. So he cleaned it up.
Oh, what a mess. I'm doing Wi-Fi. Are you doing something?
Yeah, I did something. I showed off the gaming systems on how to network all your different gaming systems together, like your Xboxes and things like that with Dan.
The one you want to see is Yoshi, his home entertainment center that he has in his apartment.
I heard it's awesome.
There's no room in his apartment to go in, but
need entertainment.
Who needs room? That'll be all the week of June 16th, our Digital Digs segments as we soup up our own abodes. Folks, thanks for the call, Jonathan. Don't go anywhere. Rev up your engines. We're going to take a look at the hot rods in the new movie Too Fast, Too Furious. Nice. And after the break, it's been 50 years, almost exactly, since Dr. James Watson discovered DNA's true structure. A few weeks ago, I had a chance to ask him about its implications for our future. His answers, right after this. James D. Watson was only 25 years old when he and his older colleague, Francis Crick, discovered the structure of deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, the building block of all life on Earth. Their model of the DNA molecule, the double helix, has become a universal symbol of the scientific profession and the title of Watson's 1968 bestseller. We are so honored to have Dr. James D. Watson with us today, marking the 50th anniversary of the discovery of the structure of DNA. Dr. Watson, it's great to have you.
It's been a long time.
50 years.
Yes.
It's amazing. And what a transformation. It basically created the science of biochemistry. I mean, without that...
Well, not biochemistry. There was good biochemistry. It created the subject of genetics.
Genetics. So the history of genetic science began, really, April 25th, 1953, 50 years and some days ago, with this letter to Nature magazine. And you say something very interesting in the letter. I just want to I want to quote this because it's such understatement. It has not escaped our notice that the specific pairing we've postulated immediately suggests a possible copying mechanism for the genetic material. Were you knowingly understating?
Yes. I was wanting to understate it so much I'm not mentioning it. And Crick said, someone will think we're so stupid we don't know what the molecule means.
It means a lot because it means you can create the blueprint of life itself, and you can split the DNA and spread the genetic material.
Yeah. So, you know, people said, well, what is the genetic language and how could you copy it?
Right.
That had been posed. How do you copy
this?
And suddenly we saw a way you could copy it. So we were, boy, it was too good to be true.
Well, as with most true discoveries, there's a magic to it. There's a certainty to it. When you find it, did you go, of course? Did it hit you that way?
Well, Crick had been talking about adenine attracting thymine, but instead of doing this way, he was doing this way. He got bad chemical advice.
Right.
And I was trying to do it this way, and we had the textbooks had the chemistry of the bases wrong, and the day before, a chemical visitor from Caltech said, the books are wrong. So we changed, changed the hydrogen atoms. We had the answer the next day.
And suddenly it clicked together.
Yes.
Things should be pointed out, and I know you pointed out in your book, which, by the way, is wonderful. We're going to talk about that in a second, that neither you nor Crick were chemists, really, by training.
No. If we were chemists, really good chemists, we could have got the structure without ever knowing the data at King's. We did know the data at King's, so we can't say we didn't use it.
Right.
But Linus Pauling could have proposed the correct answer without ever seeing the data at King's.
Right.
Now he says, well, I didn't get it because they didn't give me a passport, and I didn't get to London, and it makes a good story.
You're talking about Wilkins' work.
And Rosalind Franklin.
Yes. Now, all of a sudden, we have recombinant DNA. We have gene splicing. We have Frankenstein foods, and you talk about that a little bit in the book. Yeah. You dispose the notion that genetically modified food is a bad thing. You say it's okay.
I think it's a good thing because we'd have to, with using these plants, we will have less need for agricultural chemicals.
And nothing to fear from them?
I don't think so. You know, when you can't take any reason to fear them. Some people say allergies, but you know, you have allergies already, and whether they look for them, you really can't predict it. All you can do is if people become allergic, you stop, you know.
Talking about scare, of course, the thing that probably scares people the most, I think many great scientists who've made great discoveries, Einstein's a perfect example, look at sometimes the results of their discoveries, and in his case, the atom bomb, and say, whoa. When you look at genetic cloning, things like that, does that bother you at all?
Cloning bothers me. It would make a real mess of criminal justice if you...
Yeah.
You know, now...
Because we wouldn't have DNA testing anymore because you'd...
Yes, they'd be
there'd be 50,000 people with your DNA.
Yeah. So, and I just hope it doesn't happen.
Okay.
I mean,
How about gene splicing or gene therapy?
If it works, I'm all in favor of it.
Troubled by the ethical implications of parents, for instance, choosing the genes of their children, modifying?
No, I think it's far better than sometimes having the bad luck to get, say, a child with cystic fibrosis who will, probably won't have a normal lifespan, will be in and out of the hospitals.
Certainly it's saying, well, we're going to eliminate this disease or that disease, but what about saying I want a boy, or I want a girl, or I want a brown-eyed boy?
But what if you've had 4 boys and a woman wants to have a girl?
Yeah.
Who am I to say no? So, because women actually like to have girls.
I've loved all of your books, but I have to say this new one is one that everyone should have in their library, because for lay people like me, it is the best description of not only your discovery, but what it all means. And it covers everything that we've just talked about and a whole lot more. DNA is the name of it. James D. Watson with Andrew Barry, a really wonderful book, and I highly recommend it to everybody.
We want to find out what's wrong in mental disease. Most of the time we don't really know what's wrong until we know what's wrong, which we can only get through DNA. We won't know how to fight it.
Yeah.
So, I'm a believer in knowledge,
Well, it's not only a fascinating story, but it's a very important story. We are entering the world of bioengineering, and thanks in part to the discovery that you made 50 years ago.
Yeah, it was too important a molecule for someone not to find out. And it wasn't that difficult. Otherwise, how would a former bird watcher become famous for doing chemistry? Who didn't really know any chemistry. It was easy.
Dr. Watson, you're far too modest. Thank you so much for joining us on the Screensavers today. We really appreciate your time.
Okay.
Dr. James D. Watson, if you want to read more about DNA and genetic code, go to our website, thescreensavers.com. We have a link to this book. Believe me, I am absolutely sincere when I say I highly recommend it. It is fascinating reading. I was up most of the night reading it. We'll be right after this break. Stay right there. Cool, James D. Watson. I mean, it was so neat to meet
I got my picture with him.
You did?
Yeah.
And Prager, everybody wanted to meet him. And it's such an amazing piece of our history. And if you're still not convinced that DNA is really cool, really fun, well, visit our James D. Watson fun page. Our web compare, you get a James D. Watson coloring book, there's a James D. Watson wrapper, all sorts of stuff. Wackiest trivia we've ever dished out. Let's just say LL Cool J is involved, okay? Screensavers.com for more information.
John joins us on the phone from Valencia, California. John, what's up?
Yo, John. What's happening?
In the house. Yeah, John.
Hello?
Oh, hi, John. Don't watch TV. Turn off the TV, because then you're going to a little delay. It can be very confusing.
Yes, I just turned off the TV.
Good. Right. Thank you, John. I know, you want to see yourself. I don't blame you.
It's more like hearing myself.
Yeah, that's confusing. What can we do for you, John?
I have a question. When you use products like Retina to hack into your own system, will this compromise your system in any way by, putting down firewalls? Will it...
What's Retina? What's he talking about?
Retina is the security scanner that we showed when you were gone by EI.
It's a way of looking for vulnerabilities.
It's just like Nessus. You know Nessus for Linux? It's just like that security scanner. It runs a bunch of different hacks on your machine. Well, they're non-intrusive hacks, actually.
So what John wants to know is if by running... Did you run that, John?
Yeah, I did. I just want to know...
You want to know if you messed yourself up?
No. You didn't mess yourself up. They're all completely 100% non-intrusive hacks, so they're not going to...
It doesn't knock anything down.
Now, Nessus, on the other hand, the free one from Linux, that can actually crash your machine if it tries a little harder at seeing if these hacks are available, and sometimes it can actually crash your machine.
But if you reboot, it will not. Your firewall will not be impaired.
It's not actually hacking your machine at all. It's just telling you if those hacks are available to be performed on your machine.
That's actually a really important distinction, and a lot of people, I think, are not clear on that. And we get this question also, John, when people get firewall alerts, which is the same thing. And the firewall alert is saying that it's not that you've been hacked, it's that somebody is scanning you for vulnerabilities, just as Retina does. So scanning is the first part. It's as if saying walking up to doors and trying them.
Trying to open them up.
And now what might happen is Retina says, oh, this door's open. But it doesn't go in. It doesn't then start manipulating your system and hacking it.
Oh,
It doesn't put a rootkit on your system.
Now, there's other ones out there like Nessus that are a little more hardcore. Now, they'll actually kick the door open.
Right.
And that's when it can crash your machine.
Right. They'll try something.
They'll try something a little more hardcore.
Yeah.
But you're all right, John.
Okay, cool.
This is very good just to find out which doors are unlocked. And then what you want to do is use your firewall to not make sure that those are locked down.
Definitely. Jessica is over the LAN party. What's up?
Yeah, it's a big old party over here. It's our Screensavers LAN party powered by NVIDIA. NVIDIA. The game is Battlefield 1942 Desert Combat. Today in the LAN party, we have the Screensavers team. Joshua Brentano. We got a nice little Yoshi action over here. And two crazy kids. Hi, what's your name?
Connor.
Connor. Now, how long have you been playing this Desert Combat LAN game thing here?
Just a couple of minutes, actually.
Just a couple minutes. And how you doing?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad. That's okay. It's only been a couple minutes. I'll check back in a couple minutes with you, and we'll see if you've picked up any slack. How many hours a day do you actually spend playing these types of video games?
Actually, I play a lot, but I don't play this one. I play different ones, but it's still pretty fun.
Okay. Okay. And on a priority list with your family, does it go family, friends, video games, or video games, family, God? How does it work for you?
I would guess family, video games, and then everything.
And then God. Okay. Priorities are straight. Right on. Okay. And then we have another guy here. What's your name?
Shane.
Shane. Nice to meet you, Shane. I'm Jessica. How's it going for you?
Also pretty bad.
Also pretty bad. Has it only been a couple minutes for you as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we'll check back in a couple minutes and see if you've picked up the slack at all. Okay. And Yosh, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing all right. You know, I found a good spot this night, but I guess that's gone now.
Okay, be nice to the kids, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, they're tender. They're formative years here. Okay, so you guys get back to your game. We'll check the high scores later in the show. Back to you guys over there. Take care of some people.
Yoshi installs the cheats. I've seen him do it. And that's how
I do not. He wouldn't do that.
No,
he wouldn't do that. Besides, he's doing it for our team, so it's okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, don't go anywhere, because we're going to be helping you with more of your computer questions live on the air. And still to come, Sarah's got a few blogs that are a little bizarre, like what does Bill Gates' handwriting say about him? Find out when the Screensavers continues.
Wow, this is just like Broderick Crawford on Highway Patrol.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Leo Laporte. Coming up in this half hour, now I feel like the Leo soundbox. Like every time I say something, it's just the Leo soundbox talking. Did you play with that, Jesse, on the... Yeah.
You saved me.
You just would push the button?
You saved me.
And I go, I'm writing books all the time.
Yeah.
Buy my book.
Where are my pants?
I like the ones with the no...
I'm not wearing pants?
What's going on with that?
Well, we recorded those
pants. I know that for sure.
After a big party. And I like that.
And this is your real hair.
Kevin's going to be back on Monday because Patrick's going to be gone.
Yep.
And then you're going to do the show with me on Tuesday, right? That'll be fun. I've wanted to work with you for a long time. That's great.
Yes, cartwheels all day long.
We haven't we've never co-hosted together, have we?
No.
No. That'll be fun. That'll be great. And you don't need the soundbox. You can just tell me. I'll say anything you want.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay. I'll remember that.
Coming up in this half hour, can you figure two broadband connections? I mean, make them, yeah. Stick around. We'll tell you. Am I blushing? And Sarah shows us the latest and greatest in the blog world. Let's check in, meanwhile, with the folks over at Tech Live. I know I'm ruining the table. To see what's coming up tonight, news anchor Michaela Perrera from the Tech Live set.
It's really hard to say my name if you can't roll your R's.
Perrera. Would you, if you were going to really say it like right, would you say Perrera?
No, you'd say Pereira.
Pereira.
It's actually, to answer the questions that I get via email, it's Portuguese-Brazilian. I'm Canadian.
But you're not Portuguese-Brazilian. Just your name.
I know. Can I also say the two of you just make a dashing bookends there in your matching shirts?
They're all in black.
Lovely. You look good. You look good. All right, want me to tell you about what we're doing on our show tonight?
Yes, dear.
I got something you're going to like. These guys, the damage they do is worse than tornadoes, hurricanes. It is worse than floods put together. We are talking termites. If you had a problem with them, you know it is bad news. Turns out those nasty little guys have a bit of an Achilles heel. It seems that all that wood leaves them a little, how do you say in English, a little flatulent?
I never say that.
Oh, yes. Tonight on Tech Live, we're going to introduce you to an exterminator with a real nose for the job. Get it? Yeah. Anyway, that's what's to come. Stories about gaseous termites. Hard-hitting news over here at Tech Live.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, we got that and a bunch of other stories that we're going to tell you all about in full detail, live and in color.
And that's what's coming up on Tech Live right after this show.
That's exactly it.
That was weird.
You need to get one over here, too.
Well, you can have one.
We can Leo-fy our show.
Yeah, just what you need.
That's my next mod.
Thank you, Michaela. What is?
Termites and the computer box.
Termite computer box.
Yeah, we'll just go with the termites this time.
Sure, just don't want to light that gas on fire. That could cause a real problem. Time for our blog report of the night. Sarah Lane, our blogosphere reporter.
This is fun. Thank you.
You've got a fan club, Sarah.
There's like 3 of them.
That's great. They love you.
All right, today is all viewer tips because a lot of people email me, and I want to say thank you to everybody who writes in your blog ideas. I really do love them. Okay, a nice fellow named Kevin wrote me. Not this Kevin, a different Kevin wrote me and turned me on to sharpworld.com, which is my new favorite blog for the strange and the bizarre. For example, Sharpworld linked me to Reebok's page for little Mark Walker.
At him.
He's age 3, and he's able to sink 18 baskets in a row. Seriously. Now, if you watch the whole thing, it's a little bit tedious, but he will go up to 18. It's amazing. He's like this freak kid. It makes me feel bad because, you know, little people can jump after all.
Nothing but net.
I'm feeling very inadequate. Anyway, if you don't believe me and you really want to see it, go to 18. It's on the website. All right, how about this one? Have you ever wondered what your handwriting says about you? Also from sharpworld.com, I came across this celebrity handwriting analysis page. It's got an analysis for all sorts of stars. For example, Bill Gates' handwriting reveals that he slants very much to the right, which among other things indicates a vicious temper and a touch of sarcasm. There's quite a few more of these here too. Kurt Cobain, Andy Kaufman. Do we really want to know?
We know.
We know. Anyway, switching gears, I'm about to pose a very important question. Can hackers be poets? Kevin says no. We talked about this the other day. He thought I was really dorky
Hacking
for even.
Hacking is poetry.
Well, hello.
You can't be a hardcore hacker and
yes, you can.
Be quiet. Be quiet. Case in point, my buddy Bill pointed me to this link he found on macmerc.com containing a rather lovely list of hacker haiku. Allow me to read a couple to you, if I may. The first one is entitled Turbo Mode. Overclock your box. It is very fast at first. Warranty now void. Ooh. And here's another one entitled The Script Kitty. My server was hacked. OSSH had a hole. Now my box is owned. That's owned with a 0, not an O.
Kevin, I think you're right.
Kitty style.
I have to say, Kevin's right.
What are you going to say? I just hacked this website and here's some poetry I have.
That's terrible poetry.
All right. They apparently don't know anything about poetry, but if you think you can do better with the 575-syllable haiku thing, go to my blog report at thescreensavers.com and please post your best poetic effort. I want to see if it's really possible.
Does it have to be haiku?
And if something's good, I'm going to read it next week in my blog report.
Could it be a limerick? There once was a lady named Lane who enjoyed inflicting pain. No, I better stop right there.
And she is done now. Okay. Keep sending me your blog ideas. I'm going to call myself the future TSS basketball star today. I'm gonna kick that kid's you-know-what.
That's right.
Sarah at TechTV.com. Email me. Until next time, go read a blog, will you?
A hacker who rhymed.
All the time?
Loved all the time.
I'm a hacker, so I'm not good at this. That's all I can
See, there you go. Stay where you are, folks. Our land party contestants are sweating it out in the desert playing Battlefield 1942. We'll get their scores in a little bit, but next, we're going to take you inside the cars and stars of the movie Too Fast, Too Furious. That's right after Jessica with this Windows tip.
Okay, so Windows XP makes it easy in case you forgot your login password by using a password reset disk. All you need is a floppy disk like this one. Oh, like this one here. It allows you to change your password without knowing your old one. Wow! The steps to do are in our site. So, go to the screensavers. More coming up. And why is this even called a floppy disk?
If you're into fast cars, and there's a movie coming out tomorrow that you gotta check out. Jessica got her adrenaline rush with talking cars and tech with a cast of Too Fast and Too Furious. Check it out.
So I'm here at Too Fast, Too Furious, where evidently these cars are just too tricked out to even be street legal.
The cars that we have in it are arguably some of the best cars Japan has to offer. The Nissan Skyline, the first car that I drive in the movie, that's an inline-6 twin-turbo, putting out just over 280 horsepower. That's actually a conservative rating because of Japanese insurance reasons, and they have like this kind of like honor agreement there where the manufacturers won't produce a car that puts out more than 300 horsepower. Okay, but in actuality, if you dyno it, it is putting out more than 300. The next car I drive is the Evo 7, which wasn't available in North America until just recently, but it's actually the revised variant now, which is the Evo 8. That's a 4-cylinder twin turbo, putting out about the same power. It's not quite as torquey, but still does 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds.
But how did director John Singleton get those action shots? No, not that action shot.
We utilize motion control rigs that you use on the stage, you know, to have a car on a gimbal, and then have the blue screen in back of it.
Let's talk about cars. You know, are you a motorhead? Do you trick out your cars at all?
Oh, well, of course.
Okay.
I'm very into the custom thing. All of the cars that I've owned, I've done some level of custom work to it. The coolest thing I have in my car right now would probably be my sound system that's in my Mercedes.
Okay.
It's pretty stupid.
In your cars that you have now, do they have any like cool gadgets in them, like a GPS or like a DVD player, those ridiculous things that...
I have a GPS.
You do?
I love that.
Okay.
That makes things so easy. You can just tune out and drive, and it just talks you right in. The only thing I don't like is that they know where you are. You know what I mean? Because of the satellite.
Oh, they?
They.
Being a good screensaver, I tried to get at the needs of these stars. Totally. Do you have any? Hey, sometimes I get distracted.
Out with my laptop.
Right.
That's what I need.
Oh, you rap?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure that happens, okay? We'll make some arrangements for his phone to be compatible.
It's compatible with Mac.
Nothing's compatible with Mac. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I'm going to get the guys back at home to make something compatible for the Mac, and then we'll get it to you.
I like that.
Yep, you saw it here, folks. Me completely lose my cool. It doesn't happen often, but I was flanked by just too much beauty in one helping. But back on track, there was a genuine tech question in that moment there, and he was actually wondering if there's anything compatible for the Mac in terms of like hot syncing his phone to his Mac.
Right. Well, the cool thing is that they just came out with iSync 1.1. And that was just released here about 3 or 4 days ago. Take a look at this web page here. You'll see if you scroll down to iSync 1.1, and on the right-hand side of not this page, but devices, let me click on this here, and here it comes.
Now, why is it so far behind?
Well, it's not that it's so far behind. It's that this is a new application they're just coming out with, and they have to write, you know, all these types of device drivers to make sure that they work with these phones.
Okay.
And so take a look at the phones here on the right-hand side. You'll see all the different Sony Ericsson phones it supports, Motorola phones it supports, and the Nokia phones that it supports. Now, when it first came out, it was only compatible with like 2 or 3 different phones, and now they've added, I mean, there's over like 50 different devices, including Palm Pilots and iPods and things like that, that you can sync your contacts with, you can sync all different types of data with.
Awesome. So, Paula, you just check this website, and if your phone's on there, you're golden. And if you need any more help, you know who to call. Okay.
So, still to come. Paul's on the line, and he wants to combine 2 cable connections for faster internet access. We'll help him all when the Screensavers continues. Paul joins us on the phone from Kingston, New York.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
Not too bad.
All right. What can we do for you?
I'm wondering if you could hook up 2 cable modems to 1 connection in order to increase your bandwidth.
And double your speed.
Yes.
Boy, I have no idea, but it's a good question. Hey, that guy's smart. No, you can't really. If you had, for one thing, you only have the limited pipe in there. The cable modem is faster than the pipe already. The pipe is the limitation on the speed on your cable modem and your computer to a certain degree. Cable modem itself is capable of 40 megabits, but they're limiting you to 1.5 megabits.
Yeah.
Right. So you're basically trying to trick them. But you can't because they know exactly where you live. So it's not going to really, that ain't going to work.
We get this call all the time.
It's very,
Everybody wants to do it.
It's a variation of the same kind of thing where, if I had 2 internet service providers and combined them, could I double the speed? And the difficulty is, let's say you're going to load, by the way, there is companies like Nextland here that claim they can do this with their hardware. But understand what the issue is. You've got to, let's say I want to get a web page. The software then has to say, okay, you go get this part, you get this part, and then I'll assemble it and put it back together again.
It seems like it would take more time to break apart the packet and say exactly which one's going to pull from where. I mean, it doesn't seem like it'd be worth it.
You know, there is modem binding, which Microsoft supports in Windows. Right. And that's for modems, but although they do support ISDN, and maybe in theory they'd support cable modems. You can't do it, though, with your single cable line. You'd have to buy, now, you should go to your cable provider, because sometimes they'll say, yeah, you can buy 2 modems and have more bandwidth.
Right.
But you still have the issue of separating it, you know, out. It would be good for 2 computers.
Yeah, one thing you might want to do also is consider calling up your cable provider and saying you want a business class cable line, and they'll bump the speed up. Right. And he doesn't have to worry about.
That's probably a better way to do it.
You're going to spend the same amount of money for a second line. You might as well just pay a little bit more and get a higher up and downstream.
Do take a look at this. It's $3.99. They say that they will combine 2 inputs to double your web surfing speed. NEX LAND. I give you this with the little caveat: we haven't tried it.
Let's get it in.
We're trying to get it in, and as soon as we do, we'll review it for you. But it really, I think, yeah, you're right. It's better to call the cable company and say, can you give me some more bandwidth on the line? Because they're gating you at 1.5 megabits. They're not, you know, it's not like you could put another modem on there and somehow you get more throughput.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right. We get this call a lot.
All the time.
And we went to Analog X, and we said, can you write us a program? He said, yeah, I can do it. And then it's harder than it seems. It's just one of those things that in theory you can do, in practice is very difficult. Folks, stay where you are. We're going to see what's coming up, going on in your computing world as we check your emails. And coming up, we have our faithful LAN party contestants. We'll see how they've been doing. Our final scores from Battlefield 1942, Desert Combat, when the screensavers return. Make sure you catch tomorrow's show. It's an encore presentation, and one of our very favorites. He went where no man has gone before, and now you'll find out how to put him on your cell phone. William Shatner, Captain Kirk, joins us, plus theoretical physicist Michio Kaku will talk about the physics of the new Matrix Reloaded, and we're going to do another LAN party. It's an Unreal tournament this time. You can't play because it's a rerun, but you can watch tomorrow's show on Screensavers. Jessica has been watching closely in our LAN party and has now the winners.
Like a hawk, you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the scores really quick. Congrats to the high scores.
Well
Next
done.
week we are playing the new Wolfenstein demo, Enemy Territory. So go download it now, people. And if you didn't get to play this week, go to our website right now and register for next Thursday.
Is that a fun game, Kevin, the new Wolfenstein
I haven't played it yet.
Joshua picked it up? I love Wolfenstein. So
yeah, it's cool. It's team-based now.
Team-based?
Yeah.
That'll be fun. All right. You got any questions from the email bag there, Jesse?
Wolfenstein. That's a fun word to say.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I got a bunch. Okay, I have a PCI card with 3 FireWire ports. Do each of the ports have the full bandwidth of IEE 1394, or do they share the bandwidth from Nova Scotia?
If you have one, well, it depends how many chips you have on that card. If you have 1 FireWire chip.
How many controller chips for each port?
Exactly.
Okay.
So the total bandwidth is 400 or 800 megabits, depending on which FireWire you're using, per controller chip.
Right.
Right?
Now, also, what about the bandwidth of the PCI bus that it's going through?
Oh, that's 33 megabytes.
So
you get so much bandwidth overhead.
So you got to make sure it has a controller chip for each port on the back.
Yeah, most of the time, to save money, they don't. It's basically 1 controller chip, and then they have, because you can have many FireWire, just like USB.
Buy an expensive one from a Adaptec or something like that.
Yeah, or get 2 or whatever.
Make sure it has.
You're not going to use all 400 megabits in most cases. The hard drive's slower than that. Next. Next.
Very good answer.
Thank you very
Genesis
much.
wrote, I'm getting ready to start my website, and I've heard about the virus protection for websites. How vulnerable are websites, and